luckily my parts finally came. There's the joint for the steering shaft. Double D finally came, which I didn't realize that these were hollow. Maybe they aren't all the way through, but I wouldn't think so. But that's a Holley, Holley brand shaft, so I don't know. We'll see. Here's the finished product. I hope. I might have to cut it down. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, the only reason I have, a chrome one and a black one is because there's only one left of each. So, or else I would have had to wait 2 months to do this, and I think I can live with. You don't even see one of them anyway, so like you don't really look at either one of them. But it is what it is. Let's move on. I have to stop and explain what's going on here because I feel like the biggest idiot ever. I don't know how I made this mistake. The only excuse I can make is that I'm just out of it, just not thinking. I don't know, man, but these are really rookie mistakes and they're really dumb. But I had to make up this little jig here because I still don't know how I'm going to mount this yet, but it's just held in there nice and tight with that. But I don't know if you guys will be able to catch on or not, because I don't know if I can get it all in the shot. But okay, so if I'm steering it either way, it steers the opposite direction of what I'm steering, and I thought that that's the way it was going to be before. So I don't really understand. I moved the pitman arm and I moved it back and I put it the opposite direction, and it maybe that was the right way, and I could have gotten away with just hooking it up back here and saving an entire week of waiting for these parts, and $100, especially considering they already cut it in half. So I'm stuck with it whether I like it or not. But yeah, I'm not upset because these things happen, and I'm getting some valuable lessons here, and try not to get discouraged and just move on. Like I'm going to dedicate this entire day from morning until night to this steering, if that's what it takes. I don't care if it takes a week, but I'm hoping I can get this done and move on to the floor today. But if not, looks like this is going to be all day. So. So now that everything's mocked up on there, it's kind of a little awkward because it's right under the motor mount there, but it'll be all right. I just have to figure out a way to mount it. I thought about it obviously, but you never know where it's going to end up. Had I set it up to mount right there, it's a completely different mount than being right here now because that's in the way. So, just have to figure it out as we go. That's how this goes, man. This is all made up. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, don't copy me. Just documenting these builds for my own satisfaction. If you guys are building hot rods, you can take some ideas, but I don't know anything. I'm not doing anything right probably. So maybe ask for a second opinion. All right, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself here and not filming, but basically this is going to be the mount for the steering box, one of them, and these dots, all I did was do a light spray paint with the steering box over top of this plate, where I had plenty of material to work with, and basically I'm just drilling the holes. You can see where the dots are, and you can see the outline of the plates mocked up. Then I'm gonna have to put some washers or a spacer between that, but that's all the further I need to go out, because there's like a belly on the, it's the only way I can describe it, it's round on the steering box itself, so there's little gaps, and I'm just gonna weld this on here, and then it goes down to here where the view sucks, but both of these bolts go into that, and then I'll probably, you know, grind that off there and round it off, and I'll paint it, but let's weld it on here first. Can't tell because this shiny flashlight makes it look like shit, but it's actually on there. Well, that was a full day. Let's see if I can get. Anyway, it's mounted, and video looks like crap, man. Like, because it's shiny, and you know, I have the flash on, but it's not bad. It took me a full day because I made a couple mistakes, and this ended up being kind of a pain to like get the holes to line up perfectly, you know, without using a drill press and just using a drill. But we made it work. Trying to weld in there was a real pain in the ass. But I got some solid beads going down the whole thing. This thing isn't going anywhere, I don't think. I sure hope not. So it's just one of the, it's a big thing off the list, and it's not even really done yet because I'm gonna paint that, and I don't know, I'll probably maybe tape that off or keep it chrome. I don't really care for that, but I definitely need to paint that because that'll rust, and so will that, I'm assuming. I'm just gonna hit it with black, you know. I'm trying to hide it. I don't really want it to be obvious. I don't really want anybody to see the steering, so it's not really a high point of the you know, display here. There's no need to make it flashy. I really don't want that chrome piece on there, but since it is chrome, I guess I'll just leave it that way. It's, you know, didn't go out of my way to do that, but I don't really want to paint black over top of it either, so we'll leave it. Oh, and I think I'm gonna weld this in, by the way. I have to weld that in, so yeah. Yeah, I needed to get a grip and kind of put things away. My welder and everything was out here. There was like nowhere to walk. This whole bench, even though it's still cluttered full of shit, you know, it's a lot better than what it was, and all this stuff is going to be used here soon. I'm going to be putting the pedals in, and these are kind of the wrenches that I use constantly. Yeah, I mean, I built this whole car with this little box of crap here left over. Some of them I've had for 100 years. Like, some of them I don't even know where they came from. But when you're building a car like this, especially the quality that I'm doing, I'm not, you know, this isn't going to be a show car. You can kind of get away with using hand tools. But yeah, speaking of not being a show car, I came out here and I hit this. Because I had to grind a lot of material off of this, I kind of got worried, so I came out and painted that, even though it's frigid out today. I think it's 9 degrees or 19 degrees. I don't know, something like that with a 9 in it, but it's frigid cold. So I came out here and decided to paint because of how cold it was. And I mean, it'll dry eventually. I don't really care. I just wanted to get some kind of covering on it because I didn't want anything to rust or start rusting, because then you have double the work. But yeah, the steering is done. I think I'm probably gonna weld these on eventually. You know, the joints, the U joints are gonna get welded onto they're just like bolted through right now for kind of mock-up, but it's done. Like it's in now. Next I'm gonna hook up which I really struggled with, because a lot of especially in this car, like, you feel like it needs to have a floor shifter, because that would be the ideal thing to have. But I think I'm just gonna go with the column shifter. And I got to do something. I'm replacing the steering wheel, and there's all kinds of stuff that I'm not going to leave the GMC steering wheel in there. So I have a lot of things I'm going to change up, and I got to do the dash and the pedals still. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this is down on a major slant right now. I took the front blocks out to be able to do the steering. So I just kind of left it like that because I can still kind of get under it, and I don't have to worry about it rolling backwards, because like I said before, this whole carport is on a slight slant. If I stood back and showed you the beginning of the garage to the end of the garage, you know, that's the height difference from the top to the bottom, that wall right there. So it's about 13 inches off level. So having, you know, the stands aren't level, you know, it's kind of a dangerous practice, but it's a gradual, you know, slope. It's not bad. I mean, I was able to work around it all winter, so whatever. Like I said, this is a carport. This is just for car storage. I never thought I was going to be building this in here all winter, but whatever. It worked. It kept me dry for the most part. Still need a beam across there too, don't worry. But yeah, I'm kind of at a standstill now. Like, I got the flooring. I'm gonna put wood floors in this, and I have it all figured out. I have everything to do it, but I want to do that last, because I'm going to be running like brake lines and everything under there, and it'll just be nice to, you know, I can still have the open floor, which I could always take the floors in and out, but like, why do that right now? You know what I mean? I might as well wait until that's like going to be one of the last things I do. But pedals and dash, you know, I have those gauges. The dash needs to get done. That's probably going to be my next thing.